All right, you miserable fucks, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever. And let me tell you, this ain't your mama's Disney sing-along. We got the Wikipedia article all prepped, ready to rip this fucker apart and see what makes it tick.
Yeah.
We'll be digging into the whole damn thing, the creation, the dark shit she's singing about, and what those pompous critics had to say. Get ready to learn some shit.
Let's cut the crap and get right to it.
So we all remember, when we fall asleep, where do we go? Right. Billie blew up, snagged all those fancy Grammys. But happier than ever. This one's a whole other beast. This shit was born out of lockdown, brewed in Phineas' basement studio. Talk about keeping it the family, huh?
It's fascinating how that environment may have shaped the album. It's described as down-tempo electropop with some jazz sprinkled in, a far cry from her debut's trap sound.
So Billie's grown up. Traded the monsters under the bed for some real-life demons, huh?
Exactly. The lyrics are way more introspective, diving into the dark underbelly of fame and the anxieties of a young woman constantly under the microscope. She tackles some heavy shit here. Emotional abuse, power dynamics, even throws in some good old-fashioned misogyny for good measure.
Yeah, this ain't no bubblegum pop bullshit, which makes it all the more impressive that critics actually cream their pants over it.
They did. They loved that she was getting real about the fucked up side of fame, how her sound evolved into something more mature and complex. Of course, there were always some asshats who found it a bit too mellow. You can't please everyone, right?
Fucking haters, man. But commercially, this shit was a goddamn earthquake. Broke records on Apple Music for pre-saves. People were practically throwing their money at the screen waiting for a new Billie.
Debuted at #1 in a shitload of countries. Shocker, right?
Let's dissect this motherfucker track by track, shall we? The first one, Getting Older, hits you right in the gut. Abuse, coercion, the whole 9 yards. Damn, Billie, you've been holed out on us.
It's a powerful opening statement that sets the tone for the whole album. A willingness to confront the uncomfortable truth.
And then we've got Billie Bossa Nova. Gotta love our girl showing off that versatility, proving she ain't afraid to experiment with different sounds.
Absolutely. It demonstrates a level of artistic maturity and willingness to push boundaries. Billie Bossa Nova is a standout track for sure.
And let's not forget, not my responsibility.
That spoken word piece. Billie's straight up calling out the bullshit, taking ownership of her narrative.
It's a bold move, directly addressing the constant scrutiny and judgment she faces. Not my responsibility is a powerful declaration of self-ownership and a challenge to those who try to define her.
But the title track, Happier Than Ever, that one's a real mindfuck. Starts all mellow and then bam, explodes into a fucking rock opera. Billie at her finest, showing us that anger and vulnerability ain't mutually exclusive.
It's a masterclass in emotional dynamics. Happier Than Ever perfectly encapsulates the album's complexities, the honesty, the anger, the pain, and ultimately the resilience. All right, so we've covered the background, the sounds, the themes, even touched on some of the standout tracks. But what's the bigger picture here? What's Billie trying to tell us with Happier Than Ever?
It's a multifaceted message, no doubt. On one level, it's a raw look at the dark side of fame. The pressure, the lack of privacy, the constant scrutiny, it's all laid bare. But beyond that, it's a deeply personal journey. We see Billie grappling with her own insecurities, her anxieties, her experiences with emotional abuse and power imbalances.
So it's not just flipping the bird to the paparazzi and the haters,
Right.
It's about something deeper.
Exactly. It's a coming-of-age story. Billie's using Happier Than Ever to confront the challenges of growing up, finding your voice, and setting boundaries, especially as a young woman in a world that loves to tear you down.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty. We know this album raked in awards and nominations like a goddamn slot machine. Grammys galore, right?
You bet. Happier Than Ever was nominated for 7 Grammys at the 64th Annual Grammy Awards. Huge recognition for Billie and Phineas. We're talking Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album.
Hold up, did she win any of those?
Well, that's where things get interesting.
Don't leave me hanging, you bastard.
Hold your horses. We'll get to that juicy shit in a bit. First, let's talk about the Grammy nominations for the title track, Happier Than Ever. It was up for Song of the Year and Record of the Year.
2 of the biggest awards of the night. Damn, Billie was on fire.
But remember, being nominated is one thing. Winning, that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, you're killing me with the suspense. Fine. But before we get to all that Grammy drama, let's talk about how this album was actually cobbled together. The Wikipedia article mentioned some interesting tidbits about the recording process.
What's fascinating is that they recorded the whole thing in Phineas's home studio. His basement, to be precise.
Yeah. Keeping it in the family, we get it. But what's so special about recording in a damn basement?
It allowed them to work at their own pace without the pressure of a big fancy studio breathing down their necks. They could experiment, take risks, and create something truly unique. According to Billie, they didn't have any interference from the record label.
No suits to fuck things up, huh? I bet that made a difference.
Absolutely. It gave them complete creative freedom to explore their vision without any external constraints.
So how long did this basement bender last? Were they down there for months living off pizza and Red Bull?
Get this. They recorded the entire album in just under a year between April 2020 and February 2021. They had a weekly schedule starting with My Future and ending with Oxytocin.
Damn, that's some serious dedication. Cranking out an album in the middle of a global pandemic holed up in a basement? You gotta admire their work ethic.
What's interesting is that they actually wrote more songs than what ended up on the album. There were 2 tracks, What I Want to Hear and Born Blue, that didn't make the final cut.
Oh, really? What happened there? Were they just not good enough?
Billie said she just couldn't figure them out. Maybe they didn't fit the overall vibe, or maybe they needed more time to develop, but it's cool that they didn't force anything. They only included songs they were truly happy with.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the music itself. You mentioned some jazz influences earlier. What the hell does that even mean? Was Billie listening to Miles Davis while writing this album?
Not exactly, but she was drawing inspiration from jazz vocalists like Julie London and Peggy Lee. Their influence can be heard in the album's softer, more introspective moments.
So we're talking smoky nightclub vibes rather than screaming guitar solos.
Precisely. Think Billie Holiday with a modern electronic twist. The album is filled with these down-tempo, almost meditative tracks, lots of sparse arrangements, delicate synths, and subtle beats.
That actually sounds pretty cool. It's a long way from the in-your-face bangers on her first album.
It's a deliberate shift.
Yeah.
Billie wanted to create something more mature, more introspective, more nuanced, and she definitely achieved that.
But let's be real, even with all this jazz and mellow vibes talk, this is still a pop album at its core, right?
Of course. Happier Than Ever is very much rooted in pop music, but it's not afraid to experiment. It blends elements of electropop R&B, even a touch of techno.
Techno. Now that's unexpected. I need to hear this shit.
The track Oxytocin has a definite techno pulse. It's one of the more upbeat tracks on the album, but it still maintains that dark, atmospheric vibe that Billie is known for.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. The recording process, the musical influences, the themes, even those Grammy nominations. But I want to know more about the lyrics themselves. What's Billie actually singing about?
This is where it gets really interesting. The lyrics are deeply personal, offering a glimpse into Billie's own struggles and anxieties. She tackles heavy topics like emotional abuse, power struggles, and the pressures of fame. It's a raw and honest portrait of a young woman navigating the complexities of adulthood.
So it's more than just catchy tunes and cool beats. It's a window into Billie's soul.
Absolutely. Happier Than Ever is a powerful statement of self-discovery and resilience. It's an album that challenges listeners to think critically about the world around them and to embrace their own complexities and vulnerabilities.
Damn, that's deep, man. I need a drink.
Me too. But first, let's get back to those Grammys. Remember how I said Happier Than Ever was nominated for Song of the Year and Record of the Year?
Yeah, the suspense is killing me. Did she win?
Wow.
Don't you fucking dare leave me hanging again.
All right. Here's the deal. She got robbed. Didn't win either of them.
What the fuck? Are you serious? Those were like the 2 biggest awards of the night. How the hell did she not win?
It happens. The competition at the Grammys is cutthroat. But awards aside, Happier Than Ever was still a massive critical and commercial success. It debuted at #1 in multiple countries, remember?
Yeah, #1 albums, blah, blah, blah. But those Grammy snubs have got a sting, right?
Of course. Any artist would be disappointed. But I think Billie's more focused on making music that resonates with her fans' awards or no awards.
Fair enough. Let's get back to those lyrics. You said they were deeply personal, exploring some heavy shit. Give me some examples.
Take the opening track, Getting Older. It tackles sexual coercion head-on. The lyrics are raw and unflinching, describing those feelings of powerlessness and violation. It's a powerful statement about a deeply personal and unfortunately common experience.
Damn, that's heavy stuff. And it's not just Getting Older, right? There are other tracks that deal with these intense themes.
Absolutely. Your Power is another one that hits hard. It's about abuse. Specifically, the fucked up power dynamics that can exist in relationships. It's a haunting ballad that directly addresses the abuser, calling out their manipulative bullshit.
So Billie's using her music as a weapon against abuse, giving a voice to those who might be going through the same shit.
Exactly. Happier Than Ever is a platform for Billie to share her own story. And in doing so, she creates space for others to feel seen and heard. It's about empowering those who feel silenced or marginalized.
That's fucking powerful, man. Who knew a pop album could be so thought-provoking? It's more than just catchy tunes.
That's the beauty of music, right? It transcends genres and expectations. It can entertain and be deeply meaningful at the same time. And Billie, she's using her platform to address important social issues, challenge the status quo, and get people talking.
Okay, so we've got abuse power dynamics and the pressures of fame.
Mm-hmm.
What else is Billie pissed off about on this album?
Not my responsibility. That spoken word track directly addresses the relentless scrutiny and objectification she faces as a young woman in the public eye. It's a big fuck you to the male gaze and those who try to control her image.
It's like she's saying, this is my body, my life, my story. Back the fuck off.
Exactly. Not my responsibility is a declaration of independence, a refusal to be defined by anyone's expectations but her own. It's a powerful message about agency and owning your narrative, which is so important, especially for young women in today's world.
But it's not all doom and gloom, right? There's some lighter moments on this roller coaster of an album.
Of course. Billie Bossa Nova shows a different side of Billie. It's playful, flirty, and shows off her range. This one's got that laid-back, seductive vibe with a touch of old Hollywood glamour.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that Billie's not just some tortured artist. She's a young woman who likes to have fun, experiment, and push boundaries.
Absolutely. Happier Than Ever is a multifaceted album that showcases the full spectrum of her talent and personality. It's a work of art that's both deeply personal and universally relatable.
Okay, so we've talked about the lyrics, the music, the themes, but what about the lasting impact? What kind of legacy did Happier Than Ever leave on the music world?
This album solidified Billie's place as a force to be reckoned with in pop music. It proves she wasn't just a flash in the pan. She's a serious artist with a unique voice and a powerful vision.
So it wasn't just a commercial success, it was a critical darling, too.
Absolutely. Happier Than Ever got rave reviews from critics who praised its mature sound, insightful lyrics, and overall cohesion.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room commercial performance. We know it debuted at #1 in a bunch of countries, but what about the cold, hard numbers? How many copies did this thing actually move?
In the US, Happier Than Ever debuted on top of the Billboard 200 with 238,000 album equivalent units. That's fucking huge. The fifth largest week for an album in all of 2021.
Damn, 238,000 units. Break that down for me. What the hell is an album equivalent unit anyway?
It's how we measure album sales in this digital age. It includes traditional album sales track equivalent albums, where 10 song downloads equal 1 album sale, and streaming equivalent albums, where 1,500 song streams equal 1 album.
So it's not just about how many dusty CDs people buy anymore. It's about streams, downloads, the whole shebang.
Exactly. It reflects how people consume music these days, and Billie, she's killing it in every category.
So 238,000 in the US. Impressive. But what about worldwide? Did Happier Than Ever conquer the global charts?
You bet your ass it did. The album topped the charts in 27 other countries. It was a global phenomenon. And remember, those Apple Music pre-saves, Happier Than Ever broke the record for the most pre-saved album ever on the platform.
So people were practically foaming at the mouth, counting down the days until they could get their hands on this album. That's some serious hype.
It's a testament to Billie's global appeal and the sheer power of her music. She's one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. And Happier Than Ever cemented her place at the top.
All right, let's wrap this up. I want to leave our listeners with a few key takeaways. What are the most important things to remember about Happier Than Ever?
First, it's a deeply personal and introspective album. Billie doesn't shy away from vulnerability. She lays her struggles and insecurities bare for everyone to see. Second, it's musically ambitious, pushing boundaries and defying expectations. It's pop music, but with those jazz, electro, even techno influences we talked about. Third, it tackles important social issues head-on. Abuse, power dynamics, the objectification of women. It's all there.
So it's way more than just a collection of catchy tunes. It's a work of art that's both entertaining and thought-provoking.
Precisely. Happier Than Ever is a testament to Billie Eilish's talent, her vision, and her commitment to using her platform for something real, something meaningful.
All right, I'm sold. I'm going to go blast this album for the rest of the day.
I might join you. It's an album that deserves to be heard, appreciated, and discussed. There's a lot to unpack there.
Damn right. All right, folks, that's the end of our deep dive into Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever. We covered it all. The creation, the themes, the music, the critical reception, even those goddamn Grammys. Hope you learned a thing or two.
And if this deep dive piqued your interest, I encourage you to check out the album yourself. You might be surprised at what you discover.
Word. Keep digging, keep exploring, and never take any bullshit lying down. Until next time.
Before we bounce, I wanted to circle back to something we skimmed over earlier. That album title, Happier Than Ever. It's a bit ironic, don't you think? Given all the dark, heavy shit this album wades through.
Yeah, it ain't exactly sunshine and rainbows, is it? More like a goddamn hurricane of angst and existential dread. What's the deal with that title? Is Billie just fucking with us?
I think it's more nuanced than that. The title speaks to the album's complexity, to the complexities of Billie herself. There's pain, anger, vulnerability, all that shit's there. But there's also strength, growth, defiance, a refusal to be broken.
So it's not about being happy in some cheesy Hallmark card kind of way. It's about finding happiness on your own terms, even when the world's trying to drag you down.
Exactly. It's about owning your experiences, embracing your darkness, and coming out stronger on the other side. It's about finding a deeper, more authentic happiness, even amidst the chaos.
Damn, that's actually pretty profound. I need to rethink my whole outlook on life. But, okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Happier Than Ever is about Billie's journey, her evolution as an artist and as a person. It's a coming-of-age story set to a killer soundtrack.
Nailed it. And that's what makes this album so compelling. It's not just a collection of songs, it's a goddamn statement. It's Billie Eilish, raw and unfiltered, laying it all out there.
All right, you've convinced me. Happier Than Ever is going straight to the top of my playlist.
Good choice. Trust me, it's an album that rewards repeat listens. You'll pick up on something new every time.
And that's what the deep dive is all about, right? Uncovering hidden gems, digging into different perspectives, expanding our minds one podcast at a time.
You got it. It's about going beyond the surface, peeling back the layers, and finding the unexpected.
All right, you beautiful bastards. That's a wrap on our deep dive into Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever. We covered it all, the creation, the themes, the music, what the critics thought, even those goddamn Grammy nominations. Hope you learned a thing or two.
And if you're feeling inspired, go give the album a listen yourself. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Word. Remember, keep digging, keep questioning, and never let the bastards grind you down. Until next time.